Okay, so about a week or two ago, a friend of mine asked me, what are my favorite films from the 21st century? And believe it or not, there have been a non zero amount of movies released in the 21st century, which at first I thought the 21st century was everything from the year 2000 onwards. That's actually not the case. It's from 2001 onwards, specifically January 1st, 2001 until present day, and so on and so forth until what is it, like 2099, or it's something like that. I don't exactly remember, but there have been a lot. And I had myself a good think about this for a while. I thought about just what are some of my favorite movies of all time. Okay, like Back to the Future, Pulp Fiction, those don't make the cut because they were released in the 80s and 90s. So what are some of my favorites from 2001 onwards? And then went over some of like who are some of my favorite directors, do some of their movies make the list? Some of my favorite animation studios, what are some of their movies that make the list? I straight up looked at, like, okay, the Oscar ceremonies from 2001 onwards. Who were the nominees? Just to kind of make sure I didn't miss any movies. And knowing me, I probably maybe managed to miss like one or two. But I made a master list of just all the films I could think of that I really like, I really care about, and bit by bit started to whittle them down. And as I did, I realized a few things. Number one, I would prefer to make two separate lists, one for live action films, one for animated films, which I did. And also, there were points where I realized this is a movie that I just can't cut. And there's other movies on this list I genuinely thought I liked more, but for some reason, as much as I love this film, I feel like I can cut ties with it and be okay. Whereas this one, I just can't. And there were quite a few of those where I was like, I'm past 10 movies. I really, in good faith, cannot whittle this down any further. So what I've officially settled on are two separate lists with 13 films each. And I want to give a shout out to one film in particular that did not make the list, which is the original Final Destination movie. It did not make the list specifically because it came out in 2000, not 2001. So that timeline cutoff was actually super important. That might sound kind of weird for a movie that I've technically officially never seen all the way through until this year, but it's a very formative film for me. Like, I've brought this up a few times. I was first exposed to it when I was like 8, maybe 7, maybe 9, but I think around 8. And it's where my aversion to like suspense and horror movies comes from, but it's also where my like very heavy interest in that genre also came from. And I'd say at this point in my life, I'm a lot more okay with watching these kinds of films. Obviously, I marathon the whole series. Like, I was watching The Chucky Show when it aired. I don't always go out of my way to... sorry. In my head, that started to sound like a Dos Equis commercial. Like, I don't always watch horror. But when I do it with Dos Equis. It's like, I'm a lot more down to watch those kinds of movies. And before it was, I'd always wanted to, was always super interested in them. Like, I'd look up what happened, but never really wanted to watch them. And Final Destination is a big part of that. So I wanted to give it its due, even though because of a technicality, it was not eligible for the list. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to go over each list. I didn't rank the movies. I have them just listed in alphabetical order. So, like, look, if I'm having trouble actually taking anything off, I'm going to have even more trouble actually ranking. Because if I do, it's like, all right, this is number 10, and then these are 11 through 13. Well, I guess in that case, I should just go ahead and cut them, So, like, I'd rather not deal with that. I have them ranked in alphabetical order. I'm not going to go over why every film is on the list. And that's not because, like, it's super personal. I feel like most of these aren't. It's like, no, it's like, this is just why I like the movie. But I've noticed for some of them, it's weirdly hard for me to articulate what I love about this movie so much. And two, I realized a lot as I was kind of trying to make notes on these movies, like, okay, I use the words like perfect film or masterpiece so often that they kind of started to lose their meaning. So I will just kind of say it like this. My criteria as I was whittling the list down was essentially three things. Number one, is this a movie that is this kind of like with Final Destination, is this like a formative experience? Like, this is just something I consider an important movie that I watched that's always kind of stuck with me. Two, is it a movie that I have a deeply personal connection to? And I know those kind of sound similar, but in my head they're different things. It's almost like this is something I appreciate as just a great work of art, whereas this is something that hit me really hard. And oftentimes they can be one and the same. They're not mutually exclusive, but they don't have to be the same. And number three is this just something that I genuinely feel like I would have missed out on if I hadn't have seen it? You know that phrase, like, you don't know what you're missing? Because there's sometimes I'll watch a movie and really like it. I'm like, no, like, I really liked this, but if I had never seen it, I don't think I would have been missing out on anything in my life. Compared to, bruh, I needed to see this movie. So, with all that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and I don't know why I don't know how to speak. I will go ahead and start going down my lists. So starting with the live action list, again, alphabetical order. Number one is Avengers Endgame / Infinity War. I have them in the same spot because to me they're basically the same movie, just part one, part two. Number two, Everything Everywhere All at Once. 3, Godzilla -1. Number 4, fittingly enough, John Wick Chapter 4. Number 5, Ocean's 11. Number 6, Scream 4, which I will go ahead and say, I feel like that's one of the bigger, kind of on my list, just from an outsider perspective, but like I said, I'm not really going to explain all of my picks. I really, really love Scream 4 for a variety of reasons. Number 7, Synecdoche, New York. Number 8, The Dark Knight. Number 9, The Fall. Number 10, The Lord of the Rings, specifically The Two Towers, to name a favorite of the trilogy. Number 11, The Room. And again, that's not, just to clarify, that's not to be confused with Room, which is a film I've never seen but I've heard is amazing. This is Tommy Wiseau's The Room, one of my favorite movies of all time. Number 12, Three Idiots. And number 13, Zoolander. Now, going over my animated list, again, alphabetical order. Number 1, A Silent Voice. Number 2, sorry, I was just making sure that number 2 and number 3 were in alphabetical order because they're very close. Number 2 is a toss-up between Inside Out and Inside Out 2. I have a lot of difficulty choosing one film over the other. There's things about the first movie I like more. There's things about the second movie I like more. But so I kind of like with Infinity War and Endgame. I don't consider these both the same film, like a part 1 and a part 2, even though it's a sequel. But I feel like I can put them both in the same spot and feel good about that. Number 3 is Into the Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse does not share a slot with that. I like it a lot, but Into the Spider-Verse specifically. Number 4, Kung Fu Panda. Number 5, Lilo and Stitch. Number 6, Puella Magi Madoka Magica Rebellion. Cannot wait for the next movie. Number 7, Puss in Boots The Last Wish. Number 8, Ratatouille. Number 9, because of course it's here, Spirited Away. Number 10, The Incredibles. Number 11, The Night is Short, Walk On Girl. Number 12, Toy Story 3. And number 13, Zootopia. So, those are my lists. Like I said, I'm not going to go ahead and kind of go into my reasons for every movie. If you want to know, if you saw the video and want to know why I had a specific movie on here, like, I'd be happy to share it in the comments. Like I said, it's not like these are super, some of them, like The Fall, are very personal. But for the most part, it's just like, I think I'm okay with just saying the list. I don't want to keep saying this movie's like perfect, this movie hit me super hard. And like I said, with some of them, I noticed with like The Dark Knight and The Incredibles in particular, it's hard for me to articulate why this film is here. It's just like, I look at this list, I'm like, yeah, that film has to be there. Like, of course, it's just that fucking good. But that's the video. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here and celebrate the 4th of July by eating steak. So, see you.